All right, good evening, everyone. Pepman, Matt Moore here. Welcome to another episode of Football Focus Weekly. I called this one the official preseason show because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. As you can see right here, there's the rundown. We're going to start up with the county rankings here shortly. Friday Night Fowler's here. He's got his top 10 state rankings from 4A through 1A. It's going to be interesting. That's all I'm going to say on that. 8 o'clock, South Pointe. South Carolina head coach Bobby Collins will join us. We'll delve into upstate South Carolina rankings. We'll be ranking York and Lancaster counties, as we talked about last week on the show. And then at 8:30, we'll introduce the Dirty Dozen rankings, which is a regional ranking of teams that are in the kind of area that we focus on. And then 8:45, the ever so controversial CMS Best the Last rankings, which are the most controversial rankings on Instagram every year. And then at 9 o'clock, Slime Time will be hosted by Kenneth the Engine McClamrock. So sit back, relax. We're going to run the intro. We'll be right back. Start off with those county rankings here in just a second on Football Focus Weekly.
Well, rule number one, for as long as I have been able to drive a car, I'm getting pretty old, has been never pass a Bojangles without stopping to get something to eat.
I'm slamming the adult league referee.
God, no.
Well, dang, I mean, y'all just took my slime, because I was going to slime Coach Dillon. Because let me tell y'all about this cat.
Well, I think I got to go with slamming who's ever running these stupid robo-dollars and group callers.
There it is. Welcome back to Football Focus Weekly. I'm the Pepman, Matt Moore. We're excited to get this show started tonight. I feel good today. I ate good before this. I had a good day at work. I feel good, man. I feel good. And the crew that's here, I think they feel good too. So let's bring them on the show. Big Eye Shelby, excuse me. Welcome.
What's going on, everyone? Happy to be here once again.
Yes, sir. That boy's getting raspy out there getting them Independence Patriots right. I hear you. Friday night, Jamal Fowler, welcome.
What's going on, family? How everybody doing tonight, man?
Good. The Engine, Kenneth McClamrock, back in the house.
What's up, man? How are y'all?
Hey, Kenneth, we got some
What's
visitors.
going on, brother?
You see that, Kenneth? We got some visitors.
Who we got?
You gotta check the comments, man.
I ain't even looked at the comments yet. I'm interested to see who's watching.
There it is. The boys are here. We're ready to go.
Boys are here, baby.
I said Pep's tried to start earlier tonight, but man, you can't beat the McClamrock boys. They're ready for it, Pep.
And then we got the only coach on a live show, Robert Washington.
Hey, what's going on? Happy hump day to everybody.
What's going on, Coach?
Hey, what's going on?
Cuz
Only coach on a live football show around. That's what I'm talking about. Glad to have you. All right, let's look at these comments. What we got here? We got a Butler fan. All right, we're gonna be talking about Butler. We get
Oh,
down.
what's up, Ori? What's it? Trey Foe in the house. What's good, baby?
Oh, that's not Butler. Who is that?
No, he Butler, but he from up here.
Oh, okay. Well, thank
What's
you.
going on, my boy?
Yes, sir. All right, Karen Belt, multitasking and watching Panthers Fan Fest. Oh man,
What's up, Miss Belk? How you doing?
love the dedication.
Miss Belt, how you doing?
McClam Rock Brothers. So,
Guys, man.
What's good?
Guys.
let's see. Mondarius Black. Shout out Coach Jeffro Johnson. And who was that?
That's what my boy called me, man.
Oh, okay. All right, Jeffro. Man, I like that.
One of my aliases.
One. Oh boy. We'll say that for CFI After Dark. Jason Bass, what's up, man?
Papa Bass, man. I still ain't got my Cougar Jacks from you, man.
All right, well, y'all handle that, man. Let's see here. Look at this. We got a Reedsville fan. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Jamal.
Right here.
What's up, Nate? How you doing, baby? Big Reedsville, huh?
Yeah, I think we're gonna talk about them in a little bit, so stay tuned. All right.
Oh,
thank everybody
man.
for watching. We'll go ahead and get started. We got county rankings by request to start it off. And this came about because we posted, some of the other county rankings, and these people reached out and said, well, what about us? And I said, well, since you asked, we're going to go ahead and do it. So we're going to run through these, and I'll let you guys kind of weigh in on these. These are Pepman's. I put my name on it this week. Pepman's Rowan County rankings. On the screen, you got Salisbury at 1, West Rowan 2, Carson 3, North Rowan 4, East Rowan 5, and South Rowan 6. Before we talk about it, Kenneth, I'm going to go solo to you. I want you to talk about the young man from Carson.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Carson Cougars lost an integral part of their football program this weekend. A young man, Dalton Gay is his name. He's a linebacker and a fullback for Carson. He passed away early Sunday morning, Saturday night. The newspaper has talked about it, so I guess I can put it out there. He had some type of cardiac arrest in his sleep. But Dalton, I got to know Dalton over the past year and a half or 2 years. He worked out at the same gym that I work out at, even though he goes to Carson. He's got family that lives here in Concord. He's got a stepbrother who goes to Hickory Ridge, who I believe is going to be a rising senior as well. But Dalton, just truly an incredible kid. He always had a smile on his face. Just the salt of the earth. He was interning at his church this summer. He was working all day. He was working in the food pantry. He was building a food pantry. He was writing sermons and delivering them to young kids, to the youth on Wednesday nights. And he was a kid who was such a vital part when Coach Crosby stepped down from Carson and went to Mount Pleasant. Dalton told me, Coach, I hope that Coach Lowe, Jonathan Lowe, gets the job. And J-Lo ended up getting the job. J-Lo helped with me when I was at East Rowan. Dalton was so excited. He was so pumped up about it. They had such a good season last year. J-Lo is really starting to do something special there in Cougar Land. But I'm going to be honest with you, man, like I was wrecked Sunday when I saw it. I texted Coach Lowe. I didn't want to call him up because I knew he was super busy, and he texted me right back. It's just a really heartbreaking thing, man. 17 years old, going into his senior year, the best of the best. He didn't do something silly. It was, I don't know. They're waiting on an autopsy is what the newspaper said to find out exactly what caused it. But just heartbreaking news up at Carson High School.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Kenneth. And, on behalf of everybody, all of our thoughts and prayers from CFI go out to the Carson community. And, if there's anything we can do, please feel free to reach out. And, we'll do everything that we can to help support.
But they are having a memorial service at the high school in the stadium Friday night. I'm going to I'm going to try to get up there and bring my two boys. They got to beat Dalton last year when I went and watched them host Mount Pleasant, which was J-Lo's first home game as a head coach. But just a tremendous kid, man. He was well loved in the community and well loved by his classmates. And he went to our camp last year. He went to the HBCU camp, competed as a linebacker, and did a really nice job, man. Just super, super kid.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, all of our thoughts and prayers are with, the Carson family. And please, join us in helping support them, throughout this difficult time. That being said, Friday night, you got any thoughts on these rankings here?
I basically agree with everything except 3 and 4. I would switch 3 and 4. Everything else I agree with.
Yep, you are a big North Rowan fan. That is correct.
I got some good buddies of mine, some good friends of mine that played at North Rowan, and been following them for some years. Big fan of them. So I seen them play last year when they played Carver in the first round of playoffs. So most of that, and I think all those guys come back this year. So that'll be my only pick with switch 3 and 4.
I think they have a new coaching staff this year, Pep. Does that sound right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to my guy Coach Truesdale, who used to be the head coach of Holland Tech. He's now at North Rowan coaching. I can't remember what position he told me he was coaching, but I know he's down there now at North Rowan. And funny thing, he said they need some coverage. So, Coach, here you go.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a kid. He shares my last name. I think his first name is Jemias Morrow. He is a heck of an athlete, man. Dynamite with the football in his hands. Kick returner, receiver, DB. That's a kid you got to watch out for. But Salisbury, in my opinion, just a ton of talent on that team. Really talented at quarterback. I think Jeter still at quarterback there.
Yes, sir.
Kid. Yeah. He was conference player of the year. He's really special. And they got a really big DN that comes off the edge. That's a tough guy to really hold down. West Rowan just been consistent, man. Just a model consistent program, throughout the years, no matter who's there. And then Kenneth, as far as Carson goes, I know you know them pretty well.
Yeah, they have Trevor Bond, who's been to 2 of our showcases. Big receiver, DB type player. And those kids believe, man. I think that's their motto. They believe in their coach. They believe in what they're doing up there. And Carson, man, they're going to turn some heads this year. They're going to have a really good football season. And I think especially now with the added motivation of losing one of their brothers.
Yeah, that's going to be a topic we talk about next week. We're going to actually talk some topics next week, and that's going to be something we talk about. So let's jump to our next county, Stanley County. 4 schools in Stanley County. Number 1 here is North Stanley. 2 West Stanley. This is mine once again. 2 is West Stanley. 3 Albemarle, and 4 is South Stanley. And Kenneth, we know we've had the North Stanley athletic director on the show. Yeah. How do you feel about those guys this year?
North Stanley's loaded, man. North Stanley is in a position where athletically they always are going to compete. They're a lot like North Rowan. North Rowan, I joke around, there are 350 students in the school and 400 of them are athletes. North Stanley's in that same boat. North Stanley's got the best quarterback in Stanley County returning. They have the best running back returning, and they have a stable crop of other skilled players in bigs. Of course, Jay Jackson, their linebacker, Pep, who is one of those CFI regulars. He's been to all of our showcases. He picked up an offer from Bluefield State this summer when he went camping up there. Another CFI regular, Bluefield State. But North Stanley, they're the cream of the crop. And if I'm being honest, there's a big gap between numbers 1 and everyone else.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. West Stanley, I'll tell you that West Stanley is one of those tough, hard-nosed,
great coaching staff.
Yeah, yeah. I really respect their program, man. They get the most out of what they got every single year, man. They lost a key piece of their coaching staff. Went to Mount Pleasant. Coach Herlocker, who was a weight room guy, went to Mount Pleasant. So it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to that. But you're right, Pep. That's a team you don't want to play every week because they're hard to
game plan for.
Absolutely. And then Albemarle, of course, everybody, here probably remembers the great success Albemarle had, in past years.
TJ.
Yeah, absolutely. And then South Stanley, man, that's tough, man. That's a tough place. It's a tough place.
New coach, new spirits. I'm actually driving a girl who is a multi-sport athlete at South Stanley right now, and spirits are up in South Stanley land, man, in Norwood. They're excited about this year.
That's good. That's good. They got a couple big linemen down there too. I was researching them. Kieran Fowler is a really talented defensive lineman, 6'3", 270. Yeah, they got some guys.
Hey, Paul, that's a big boy.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a buddy of mine who works in a recreation department down in Albemarle. Mm-hmm. He was telling me that T.A. McClendon's son plays for Albemarle as a lineman. Is that true? Do y'all know her?
I'm not sure. I haven't done my deep research into Albemarle just yet.
Okay.
I don't see why anybody would lie.
There have been talks in recent years. I think it's kind of simmered down, but there were talks at one time that Albemarle was going to shut down. They were going to combine forces with the other schools in the county. It's a weird deal in Stanley County, man. It's basically open enrollment, not quite open enrollment like we see in other states. County. But they've got some open enrollment there. But there are athletes in that county still. I mean, but North Stanley they're the cream of the crop. Expect them to win 10 football games this year.
Ooh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. Open enrollment, another topic we're going to talk about next week as well. All right. And then, of course, right on time. Right on time. It's like he knew the schedule. It's crazy. Is the Iredell County rankings.
Hold on.
I'm laughing because he posts his.
They can't be that high now. No, I'm just playing with the chat administrator.
So I got Mooresville 1, Lake Norman 2, Statesville 3, South Iredell 4, West Iredell 5, North Iredell 6, Pine Lake Prep 7, and Langtree, the new school that opened, is being led by Coach Olson at 8.
Hey, Pep, Langtree won't have a team this year.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. They won't have a team. I know he joined. I think they're starting off. They had middle school last year. And, I think they're going to probably start it next year. But I know they're not competing this year.
Gotcha. All right. Good information. Good stuff. Anybody else got some thoughts here before I post chat administrators' rankings?
I was going to give a shout out to Coach Iredell Cowan over at Statesville, man. They've been very consistent over the years with him under his leadership. I know he's very confident about what they can do, and I look for them to take a run at that number 1 spot.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about them. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I want to echo that. Shout out to Iredell and Torrey Torrance. Me and them boys won a couple of state championships together. So them like my brothers. But I want to shout out also Pine Lake Prep, Coach Austin, Trotter. Man, always got a good program. So look forward to competing against him this year.
Absolutely. One of the best guys around. Absolutely.
He's not quite a rebuilding year, but he's got a young quarterback this year. He had that quarterback that threw the ball all over the place the last couple of years, but he's got a young guy. I'll just leave it at that. A young quarterback that really has a lot of potential, man. The kid can sling it everywhere, but it'll be interesting to see how much they're able to pick up that success they had last year and continue to roll with it.
Well, he's always going to keep them disciplined. We played against that quarterback on JV. And I was like, dude, he's like, yeah, I know. I said, man, he's going to be good. Like at that time, I seen all the tools. Actually, he was just as good as the varsity quarterback, just not as much experience. He was like, he was new to football. And I was like, that's crazy. But Coach try to always keep a good program. They're going to be disciplined. The one thing about Pine Lake, they're going to come in there and compete. So you got to come with your A game because they'll come in there and upset somebody. And even under the years that he said he's young, I've learned this with Coach Trotter. He still got a game plan. So
never believe what he says because he will always tell you, oh, we're down, down, down. And that joker, he's going to find ways to put points on the board.
Yeah, every year. He always called me, Coach, man, I don't know what I got this year. That's why I know he got a smoker.
So y'all saying Coach try to pull the Lou Holtz?
All the time. Every chance he get.
Crying towel around here. They would give a crying towel award winner to the Cabarrus County coach who had the most crying in the offseason. That's Coach Trotter. They're going to be bad. I just don't know if we can compete with anybody this year. And then, they win 10 games in a row to start the season off. Y'all play them, Coach Washington?
Yeah, we do. They're in our conference.
Oh, I get to see them too, huh?
Yep, y'all get a chance to see Pine Lake.
Oh, and look here. Look at this.
Now there's things, you say on the show, and there's some things you say that you don't say in person. Coach Trotter, he's about 6'6", a good 2+. Like, I mean, I'm gonna give him a firm handshake and tell him I love him in person, but I'm on to you.
All right, let's go with Chat Administrator's Iredell rankings. He's got Mooresville 1, Lake Norman 2, Statesville 3, Pine Lake at 4.
Yep.
West Iredell 5, North Iredell 6, South Iredell 7, and then Langtree, what we already said they're not playing this year. He thinks Mooresville and Lake Norman could have really special years. The last game of the year could be for the Greater Metro 4 title. So we all know Chat Administrator is fully tapped into that Iredell County scene. I totally respect that. Zoom and Zoombach in the house. Got some comments. Lake Norman will be good. Mooresville will be solid. Statesville will be better. West Iredell had a great offseason. They'll be better, but so will North. But he says South will be down and rebuilding, and Pine Lake is rebuilding as well. All right.
They're not rebuilding, Pep. That's a smoke screen. I'm not falling for it, Austin. I'm not.
Oh, man. Oh, producer is here. Welcome.
Good evening. Just here to had a little late day at the office, but I am here to inject some personality into the show. So
appreciate you as always, sir.
And I saw that shocking revelation that Kyle also had Mooresville at 1. I was
go figure, right?
Did not believe that, man. Wow, you really went out on the ledge on that one.
By the way, Big Eye Shelby, this was for you. Calling you guys out.
Oh. Hey man, I don't handle scheduling. But if you want to come watch us August 17th, man, be my guest.
We'll be there.
We can get it done, Kyle. Chat Administrator, maybe a scrimmage or something. We can get that done eventually. I don't know. I don't handle that though.
Very
diplomatic. I'm proud of you. All right.
He keeps acting like he wasn't a high-profile acquisition, but it's cool. It's cool, man.
No, not me, man. I'm just happy to be one of the guys, man.
All right. So, Jamal, Friday Night Fowler, I'm moving you up to the top square, baby, because it's your time.
Oh, there you go. Let's get it.
There you go. Explain yourself, sir.
Well, Grimsley, I believe, has the total package, offensive, defense, quarterback that had experience last year before the other quarterback came in. Got a couple key transfers in the offseason. If they get that defense right, I believe they're the team to beat in the West. Butler, we all know about Butler. We all know about Zach Lawrence, Coach Stone, Coach Hales. Keep a consistent winning team down there. And I think they had a young team last year and still won 10 games. And I think this year they'll be even better. We all know about Independence, just a little quarterback and coaching staff. We got one on us on the show right now. They'll be up there as well. Huff, the thing with Huff, they have a strong defense. Offensively, it's kind of a question mark. But defense will keep them in the game until that offense come around. Weddington has one of the top ranked quarterbacks in the state. I seen them play in person when they came to play Grimsley last year. They're gonna win a lot of games. Millbrook the same with Mason Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Hillside got the coach from New Bern this year. Cleveland brings back a top-notch quarterback as well. We all know about Chambers. Athletes all around. They get that offense together. They're a scary team to look out for. And my surprise is Mount Tabor. if they work in that quarterback, they'll be a team to be reckoned with this year. Because they got the defense and they got the athlete in Snook Peterkin, who has probably about anywhere from 5 to 7 big Division I offers, top 5. So be looking out for Mount Tabor this year.
What do you guys think about that?
Pretty good list. Pretty good list.
I think so.
Now hold on, you didn't like this seeding order last week in the conference. How you gonna like the state order from Friday Night Fowler?
I mean, any state ranking I've seen, we're high as number 3. So we're just gonna wait and see how it all play out, man. We grinding, we working every day. We're not really worrying about rankings, man. Leaving those to the fans, leaving those to the kids. Man, we just working to try to be better, 3% better every day, man.
I love the new web, man.
I'm telling you.
We're just
I think Coach DJ's rubbed off on him. So I was at the media day last week, and he came up to me and said, "Pep, I'm fine with number 2, man. I appreciate it."
think he's been doing yoga or something, man.
I'm
He's
telling
really
you,
relaxed,
I
man.
love this approach, man.
but I would say to Fowler's point, Fowler, you mentioned a lot of quarterbacks, so don't forget that it's 10 people on the field at all times, or 11 people on the field at all times. So it's 10 others that you got to worry about just in general. You're speaking on quarterback. Quarterback can't do it by itself. But it's a good start. It's a good start.
Understand that.
Pretty much.
Them linebackers, the big eye. Them linebackers, the big eye.
I will always say, in general, with all these teams, I think with 4A, man, I think it's all about who's able to play who in playoffs. Because a lot of teams, and I think whoever with the 4A, man, is like it's about who getting home field advantage. Because there's a lot of places where you probably don't want to go in the playoffs.
I go over that.
Being in Charlotte, having to go to a different area code and all these things like that. Like you get different referees, different type of officiating. I know personally, whenever one of my years at Shelby, we went up to Hendersonville, and as soon as the play over with, the play clock is running. You don't even know it. So all this type of stuff that you got to deal with, that's like different rules. Now it's within the rules, but it's different rules that you got to deal with. So I think with 4A, man, I think it can always go either way. I think it's just all about. I think it's all about who gets what game at what point in time in the year.
I can roll with that.
Yeah,
so experience matters. Experience matters.
Yeah, because if you look at the the bottom of your list, Chambers, who want to see them in the playoffs?
Facts.
And I'm talking about motivated, because I seen them. I think they was looking at the rankings, and I seen some eyeballs and stuff, and that group, the worst. Hold
on. There are no other rankings. No other rankings out there.
No, I thought Jamal, didn't you post this? Did you post any of this?
Yeah. Oh no. This is the first time it's being seen.
Ain't no other rankings.
I think he posted something on Facebook. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I thought you posted something.
No, it wasn't this. It was up here. It was my triad top 15 in honorable mention.
Let's
got you.
Say it. Go ahead and say it. Any other list or rankings you see guys out there? This is for the
but they don't exist on this show.
Those are unaccredited. Those are unaccredited rankings.
That's it. Exactly. All right. So Friday Night Fowler, you have spun off a ton of comments.
I already know, man. I already know.
We're gonna post them, and then when we get to Coach Collins, we'll do him. Then we'll come back to the other classifications because I want to give these some time here. Wunkler, welcome Wunkler. He said there's going to be some people not too happy about where Huff is ranked. I can see that. Nell Will says the 4A playoffs will be must see every round this year. Maybe not the first round because we had some ugly games last year. But that's because everybody gets in.
Not now, right?
Say what?
Not now, right? With the everything being unified, everybody still make the playoffs?
Well, a lot of teams.
Basically, almost.
Okay.
2-3 wins.
I think I can give you. I think every 1A school in the state of North Carolina made it before.
Oh well, that's understandable because it ain't that many 1A schools in the state though.
Oh, nah, it's more than you think.
Oh,
Well, we got a coach that's at a 1A school. He can
Hey,
speak
Coach
to that.
Tay is more than you think, though, for real, I think.
Well, what it is for football, we actually got, I think it's like 64, something like that. So
Right.
like we're missing like everybody can make except like 2 people, and those 2 people probably about out of playoffs anyway because they probably didn't win a game.
You should. Well, Coach Washington, it's been some teams made the playoff with they hadn't won a game, brother.
Hey Fowler, look, I saw an interesting thing about 1A. It's funny though. Like, do you know the bottom 4 teams, majority of them, they all be 0-10.
Facts.
Yeah.
Y'all remember we talked about that on the show.
Yeah, it goes off like strength of schedule. It's for like the last whoever the last 2 teams to get in. Like the bottom 4, like literally it'd be 0-10.
Right. Oh wow. Okay.
We talked about that for like 5 minutes on the one of the playoff
it's
shows,
crazy.
and we were like,
I said they should just let them play each other. They should let the bottom 4 play each other. Whoever wins, just let them in.
Like a playing game.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Hey, Big Shelby, most of those guys, like when they let them in like that, they'll decline to go. That's why my hat's off. They'll decline and they'll be like a buy for the first
I think
seeds.
It was 2 of them that did that last year, right?
Yep. I think was it when Winston Perp did it?
Yeah.
No, they went
over to the island, man. They scared to go to the island. That's all.
No, they.
You're right about that. You're right.
No, they went in. They went in.
Them teams scared to go down into Mount Island, baby. You got to see them. That all blue, that all green, that all black. Hey, Pep, you see that, Pep? They got more jerseys than Oregon.
I was getting ready to say, they got like 8 jerseys up there.
That is true. Oh, that is true.
Man, I gotta keep these boys fly. I gotta keep them fly. We gotta look good now.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Chris Hawk, what's up? Hawk says very good list.
What's up, Cole? I appreciate you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support, big time.
Chris Reed says you're missing Reagan.
Nah, they don't.
Reagan had a pretty decent team last year, I believe, too. I'm not really sure how young they were, how old they were, but they had a couple studs. I remember.
They the quarterback and the running back, both of them were freshmen.
Yeah, then they had I think the DN went to Duke. I'm not sure.
Yeah, DN went to Duke, and they had I think a linebacker go to one of the linemen went to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Chad Administrator is on there with Reagan as well. Jada Connect, good point right here for me. No Mallard Creek or East Forsyth.
Too much turnover, East Forsyth, Jay. Too much turnover.
You have said that to many people online.
I mean, it's like when you have, because somebody brought this up last year when I was doing my polls, they had 30 seniors last year. 30 seniors, and your 2 best players are gone. So you're telling me that you're finna bring all these transfers in who didn't come from winning programs to all of a sudden keep you relevant with these teams right here? Come on now.
Wow.
I like they're gonna have to prove something to me.
Well, I will say, sometimes when kids transfer, man, all they need is a change of scenery.
I mean, that could be true, Coach. But if you don't have a winning attitude, how you going to bring that to a winning program? If you're not used to winning, I mean, hey, that's just my opinion, though. You know.
So that's 4-star QB's Bryce Baker.
Tell him, Fowler, these your rankings, and you stand on it.
I'm
Street Lewis, I understand he's a 4-star quarterback, but he hasn't played at 4A yet, bro. He played at a 2A school and then produced at a 2A school. So, hey, it is what it is.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. We got your back.
I mean, it's all good. Hey, this is why I'm on here, right? This is why I'm on here, right?
These are Fowler's rankings, baby. Stand on, Fowler. Tell him.
Let's go.
Tell him, Fowler, you're going to be at the games if they will need to say something to you.
Hey, everybody know me.
Let's go.
Comments is
Go ahead and stir it up. Go ahead and stir it up. Go to that 3A. You know 3A going to be interesting.
Well, no, we're going to pause. We're going to pause because we got a guest here. So we're going to come back to it. So everybody hang tight. I know this is really got some people fired up. Boy,
here come the OG Bobby Collins, baby.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming. As usual, the numbers go up when we get a guest because it's not for us. It's because we have The man, the myth, the legend, Bobby Collins leading the South Pointe Stallions coming on Football Focus Weekly. We're going to bring him on the show. Coach, what's up, man? Nope, I don't hear you. All right, so Coach going to work that out real quick, and then we'll get him on once we get that audio in a good place. But I'll tell you, South Pointe, they got a team, man. They got a team. Offense coordinator Q Wright used to be the OC at the Chambers Cougars when they won the state title. A lot of talented guys down there. They ranked highly in a lot of the South Carolina polls, and for good reason. They're a strong team. I think Northwestern is the only one that's ranked above them in their region right now. And they're going to be a big-time force to deal with, playing in a really tough region too, man. There's so many great teams in the upstate of South Carolina, because you think about Northwestern, who's in the big game to start out the season against Providence Day at Bank of America Stadium. Only $5, man. Such a great deal. That's awesome. And then you got Catawba Ridge, who's always been going deep in the playoffs. You got Indian Land, who's going to be really strong. They got the linebacker, Tamir Hickman Collins, who just committed to play football at Florida State. Big-time recruit. And that's just the first four. When you start really getting down into it, and I don't want to give too much away because we're going to do South Carolina rankings here in a little bit, but there is some really good football in the upstate in York and Lancaster counties. So I see Coach Collins is kind of moving around. So let's bring back Friday night and let them get these rankings back on the screen, man, because we still got to work through this. Now, there was a lot of comments here that I'm going to put up here. Nell Will says Friday Night Fowler, a.k.a. Bud Crawford 2.0. Gracious.
Oh, man.
He got him stirred up, man. You got him stirred up.
Hey, man.
Let's see. Street Louise says Weddington will hold up the trophy at year end. Ooh.
Like hey, I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Budget, quarterback. They got the young guys on defense. Thomas Davis Jr. Getting a lot of recruiting attention, and rightfully so. Their big receiver, Keenan Jackson, committed to North Carolina. Really a lot of talent and a well-coached team.
They always have been.
Yeah, it's a big-time tradition out there. All right, so let me check in with Coach Collins and see where we are. So y'all hang tight. Let's check in with Coach. Well, he might still be moving around. Let's bring him in. Coach, I still don't hear you. I still don't hear you. Coach, if you go out and come back in, that might fix it. No, go out and come back in. So close it and then, there you go. All right, so we're going to work on that. Matter of fact, let's bring everybody back while we're working that out.
Hey, Coach Collins, man, South Pointe give you $100,000 a year, man. Good audio. They give that man.
We're going to work it out, man. We're going to work it out.
$100,000 a year ain't got no good no audio set up. That's crazy.
He's been on the show before. It takes a minute. All right, we're gonna try him again. All right, hold on. It's good live TV right here, man. It's good live TV.
Can you hear me?
Hey, got you. We got you,
man. Man, let me tell you something. I don't know what y'all got going on up there in Charlotte, man. See, in South Carolina, hey, man, I'm still at practice. Hell, we can't take no days off down here. I'm out here. I'm walking around right now. We got the turf coming in, man. I got to go oversee the turf crew right now. I can't leave. I just sleep here at night in the field house. All football, man. We all bowl. All bowl down here. All bowl.
I didn't know y'all were getting turf. That's awesome.
Matt, where I ever coached at, man, we ain't had no turf, man. We don't do that grass stuff, man. We don't do that grass. It's football city USA, man. We don't do that grass. I ain't got no other place to be right now. I don't go home. It's football season. All them coaches who going home, rubbing feet, all that, man, it's ball season, man. I'm on this ball. I'm on this ball right now.
Well, Coach, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's good to have you again on the show. First of all, man, how is it going this year? How'd your off season go for you Stallions?
Man, Matt, we weren't where we wanted to be at in the weight room. At the end of last season, Greenville High School beat us in the second round of the playoffs. So, we locked them up in the dungeon, and we've been getting after it since January. So, the off season has went really well for us. Working the guys hard in the waiting room. We visited over 10 Division I colleges. So, we just want to give our kids an opportunity to be able to get the exposure that they need to get and be able to compete at a high level. We got one goal. That's to beat Spartanburg on August 18th, and the final goal is to be making sure that we playing in December.
Absolutely, Coach. Absolutely, man. That's awesome. Well, talk about this turf. How did this turf come about, man? I'm
about to show it to y'all in a minute, man. That's all I care about. You know what? We got a new district athletic director. So him and our great superintendent. I think we got one of the best superintendents in the state.
Okay.
One of those guys been putting their heads together, and we just got an awesome opportunity to be able to get some turf here at the stadium. And look at my crew out here, man. I gotta flip my phone around. I'm so jacked up. Hold on. I do like that. Look at me, man.
Oh,
right
wow.
Here, This is what we're doing in Rock Hill right now, baby. This is what we're doing in Rock Hill right now. Look at them lights, man. We don't take no days off here, man. We sleep on this grass. Ain't no days off. Everybody working. Everybody working right now.
So, Coach, when do y'all practice? Are y'all morning or evening?
The varsity players, Matt, go in the morning from 8 to 12, 12-ish, and the B team players, they come in and practice at from 4 to 7. So our varsity and JV players come in the morning. Our B team guys, which is just all ninth graders, they come in at 4 o'clock, lift weights, go outside and practice, and go home.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's correct. You got 3 teams down there, huh?
3 teams, Matt. We probably got about 120 kids in the program. So we'll probably finish up with about 30 on B team, 30 on JV, and about 60 on varsity.
Wow. It's a different world down there, and that's awesome, man.
You know what? North Carolina, in Charlotte, we are blessed to have a lot of great players. A lot of great players that come out of North Carolina. A lot of great football coaches. You got Tom Knox, legendary, probably best high school football coach ever. But I just think in South Carolina, it's just a different appreciation. I just got out of a parent meeting. We probably had over 100 parents at our parent meeting a few minutes ago. So it's just a different appreciation, and the standard is the standard. They want you down here. They want to win. They want the best for their kids. So it's not a lot of pushback about what you got to do to be successful when it comes to being a high school football coach.
Man, that's awesome, man. Talk about that pressure, man. Do you feel a lot of pressure to win with being in such high-stakes football in Rock Hill?
Only by the grace of God, man, I'm at this job, so I don't feel no pressure about it at all. So, but you know what? You pray for these kind of places, man. You pray for a place where football is at such a high standard that even the doggone water boy is looking at you when you make a bad call on the sideline. So it's like you want to be at a place to where football is the standard is just excellence. So no, I don't feel no pressure. 1, because we got really good players, and 2, we in the business of developing players. Our guys, they come in every day, they work hard, they don't run from the waiting room, they don't run from practice. So no pressure on me. This year 20 for me, Matt. So I'm doing what I love to do. I'm just fortunate. I got a best coaching staff I've ever been around, and kids that just love to play football.
Yeah, you really got some good coaches, man. I've been seeing the guys you get added onto what you already had.
Getting the band back together, Matt. Getting the band back together, baby. Getting the band back together.
Absolutely, Coach. Who are some players that really stood out to you so far, man?
Of course, Malachi Marshall. Malachi Marshall, our quarterback, going to Georgia State University this year. He's graduating in December, going there to play for Coach Sean Elliott. On our defensive lineman, C.J. Dixon, I think is one of the best in the state. Jazavion Currents, probably one of the best players in the country. Got, multiple Division I offers going into the 6th grade. Going into the 10th grade. 6'3", 200 pounds. Just got offered by Georgia, offered by Florida, South Carolina, NC State, Chapel Hill, every place. But when you talk about a kid like that, Matt, he's so humble, so hardworking. If you came to practice and said, "Hey, man, who's got all the offers?" you wouldn't know it was him. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you start walking on the field and seeing the body types, you're gonna know it's him.
That's a lot of talent, man. That's a lot of talent.
Yeah,
right
we got
there.
we got it, man. We're excited about it. You know, our secondary, Zantuan Nelson, Fred Reese, R.J. Buford. You know, we got some guys that can flat out play back there. Young linebacker group coming back this year with playing experience, but defensive line wise, Miles Wilson, Mr. Minor. We got a bunch of good guys, man. Offensive line wise, probably one of the best I've ever coached. So we're gonna run the football. We're gonna throw the football. You know, we just got to worry about us, man. I don't think only people that can beat us is us. Nobody's gonna line up and beat us. It'll be us making some mistakes that we shouldn't make. So we just gonna try to control what we can control, play solid football, and everybody that play us, Matt, we got one goal to try to make them quit. We don't never want them to play the game of football ever again after playing us. We just want to dominate.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
we
that,
want
man.
dominate. We want to dominate.
That's the way it ought to be, man.
That's it.
Coach, I'm gonna bring on Robert Washington from Mountain Island. He's got a question for you.
The great Robert Washington.
OG, what's going on?
What's up, Coach?
Man, you know what I feel about you, man. You've been a big part of my development too, just seeing that leadership and being a leader from afar. Now I want to ask you, like, who was the people that you looked up to and that was your mentors and they inspired you to be great?
I was fortunate, man. My first job in 2004, I worked for Coach Rocky White at West Mecklenburg High School. The great Aaron Brand was on that staff. A lot of great Joe Evans was on that staff. A lot of great football coach. And what Rocky taught me, Rocky was the ultimate players coach. You know, Rocky went far and beyond for his players more than anybody I've ever been around in football. After that, I had the pleasure to work for Coach Bruce Harden. Coach was the ultimate perfectionist. You know, I was in the office when Coach was on the phone with Dr. Terry Cochran when I was able to get my first job at Huff High School. So just watching people do it the right way, be about kids, ultimate professionalism, I was fortunate. I only worked for 2 head coaches in my life. I got my first head job at 28 years old. And I think, one of the best schools in the state of North Carolina, Huff High School. So, from there, from Lancaster to Marlboro, to now to South Pointe, I'm officially blessed, man, only by the grace of God.
I appreciate that, Coach. Hey, good luck this year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert Washington. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to bring on Big Eye Shelby, Adam Weber, Coach. He's got a question for you.
Let's hear it.
Hey, Coach Collins, I was want to see if you could touch on. I noticed you said you guys was able to go to 10 Division I programs this summer with the kids. Can you speak on what type of impact that has on the kids? Because a lot of kids may not even get those opportunities to go to those certain schools. And can you touch on some of the schools that you guys was able to go to and let the kids visit?
All right, so we started off the tournament. We started off, man. We went to University of South Carolina, Duke University, Virginia Tech, University of Georgia, University of Alabama, Kennesaw State University, University.
All right, well, he might go down the Wi-Fi range, so we'll see if we can get him back. But I mean, to visit all those schools is absolutely awesome, man. I wish more programs would kind of emulate that. That was a good question there, Big Eye Shelby. I think we lost Coach, so we'll connect with him again. He was great. That's how he is all the time. And me and Coach Collins worked together on the Queen City Senior Bowl. It's a great venture, and we've been doing it for 4 years, and then I think this year will be year number 5. So appreciate him coming on the show with us. I let him get back to managing that beautiful turf that he showed us. That's amazing. But we got business to talk about. So we're going to bring everybody back because we still got to talk about these rankings. And we're going to get them back on the screen. And let's go to 3A because I think we hit 4A pretty good. So Friday night, I'm going to slide you up. So let's go through 3A.
All right, to me, Chris is the team to beat 3A. I seen him in person last year against Oak Grove. With all the talent they had coming back, the young talent, very explosive on offense, defense is stout. I think they should be the favorite in 3A. That's just my opinion. Kings Mountain, we all know about Kings Mountain. If they can get that line right, it's gonna be a big contest with them and Chris. Southern Durham, I got hip to Southern Durham this past week with my boy Jerome Bacon. Then realized they got a 4-star D tackle that transferred in from Green Central named Isaiah Campbell to go along with the Anthony Melvin, the upstate commit on the other side. And of course, we all know about how they what they do at Southern Durham. Jay's Rose, they got a big transfer in quarterback Jay-Sean Shepard. So they should be well primed to try to get back to a state championship. Them D-boys, Delhi Panthers, we all know about Delhi. They got a couple of transfers during the week from Page and Smith. If they can get their O-line correct, watch out for Delhi. West Charlotte, we all know about what West Charlotte doing down there. Havelock, year in and year out, is one of the best. 71st kind of took a dip. I know they still got talent down there, but of course we all know Anthony Quinn transferred and went down to Raven Gap. Eastern Alamance, they're consistent. Southern Alamance is a team to look out for because in 4A last year they went to the 4th round and they returned everybody. They dropped down the classification, so be on the lookout for Southern Alamance.
I would give you a team to look at. Pepman, Kenneth Noel advocated for this team a lot last year, and they dropped back down to 3A, and that's AC Reynolds.
Yeah, absolutely. Max Guest at running back.
He just picked up an offer from Coastal today, I believe.
Yeah, he's probably the best 25 running back in the state.
What did they return on defense, Coach? I heard they lost a lot of defense.
I think they did, but I think a lot of key pieces came back. And I think they still got a couple of those tall and rangy DBs that came back. I think they lost. I know they lost the D tackle. The D tackle was a Strombo kid, I believe, and possibly the linebacker. I know the linebacker, he committed to Elon. So I think they lost a couple of pieces on defense, but I still think in some areas I think they're still gonna be pretty good.
All right, that's what's up. And they playing two teams from up this way. They start out at West, then week 3 they come up here to play at East.
I like that. I like teams challenging themselves in the non-conference games, man. That's really good.
Yes, sir.
All right, anybody else got some thoughts here on the 3A rankings?
I do believe Crest is the team to beat. They returned pretty much everybody, and they added some guys that can give them they can suit them in the secondary. They're still young, so no matter how they do this year, they still have a lot coming back the following year. So I do think Crest will be the team to beat. They have to piece everything together. I know Crest is always known to be a good defensive team, so I think their defense will help carry them in a lot of those big games, especially the first game. I think their defense will help carry them and always give them the chance to win the ball game and put the game back in the quarterback hands, Tater Husky. So I think Crest can get them a state championship this year.
Wow. Okay.
I agree.
Well, I said on last week,
and I'm up here in the 336, so I know all about them D-boys. I'm a big Delhi fan, but hey.
Yeah. I think Crest and Delhi, so I think still with 3A, I think with the top 6 teams, it's all going to be about who's able to play who and when, because in 3A, if you see, even if you look at this, a lot of those schools have to travel down. You have to travel to play Crest and Kings Mountain at their home field, and it's going to be tough to go down to Kings Mountain or come down to Crest when you got to travel an hour away. I know Kenneth and Coach Robinson talked about that, how often when you get these road games, how everything that you do changes. Warm-ups, travel, pregame meal. And when you coaching kids and these kids not been able to be in these playoff atmospheres and travel on the road, the slightest thing can throw you off. Because you get new referees, like, a lot of kids want to wear those tinted visors and warm up. Referee may say, hey, take that off, and you may do that every home game, and that's your mojo. You know, so things.
Right.
So like, I think that's about even with Crestmay having to travel to Greensboro or Kings Mountain having to travel somewhere far. Like, I think these playoff games in 3A and 4A is all going to be about who gets to play those games on their home field.
Yeah, I agree with you, Shelby. They it's going to come down to just health. That's the obvious thing, is who comes in with health and got everybody. But I'm gonna tell you something. Those Dudley boys at number 5, them D boys, I watched their track program, and I'm telling you, they're fast. And look, if they healthy, and hey, you have to stop that speed. But again, Crest and Kings Mountain, some of those top teams do got the defense to be able to contain them. But it's gonna come down to who's healthy and for all the things that you said too, Big Shelby. The little things. Who's traveling to who?
Good point.
All right. Anybody else on 3A?
Yeah.
So for me, West Charlotte, I said last week they got a championship defense. I mean, all 3 levels, they're really strong. I feel like the quarterback, Katie Smith, he's got D1 offers, a dual threat kid. The biggest thing for them, they're gonna be able to run the ball in whatever form or fashion. They'll be able to do that. But can they throw it? Can they get when they get in a close game like they did last year at Kings Mountain? Their defense actually scored. I think they scored twice, and then they set up their offense with another turnover in the short field.
I think this has both those games went back-to-back years. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think West Charlotte struggled scoring against Kings Mountain. I think even the first year they went down there, you remember, that's when A.J. Richardson was hurt. Kings Mountain didn't even have their best defensive player, the Alpha Dog, and they still struggled just playing and scoring against Kings Mountain. So I think that's the difference too, regular season scoring and playoff scoring. In playoffs, people get about 10 games on you sometimes, depending on how loyal your conference is.
And Big Shelby, honestly, that's where you got to have some stuff in your back pocket. You can't be emptying the clip through the regular season. You got to have some stuff in the back pocket, because when you start playing those tough games, you got to, show them some stuff they ain't seen and make them adjust. That's what it comes down to. And that's really ultimately on the head coach. So you got don't empty the clip, because everybody gonna get your film. Somehow, some way, they're gonna get all them 10 games. And they might see tendencies here and there. Guess what? You see a tendency on film, I'm gonna hit you with something different. So it's gonna come down to coaching at the end of the day, because both of those teams is evenly matched. And schematically, if you can't pass the ball, that's on the coach. Because you got the weapons. I can tell you right now, Q Williams can play receiver at West Charlotte. So if they can't throw, that's gonna be on the coach, because they got the weapons. There's no reason why they shouldn't be.
Yeah, we'll definitely see really soon about that. All right, let's jump to 2A. So this one will be interesting. All right, Friday night, go ahead.
Well, we all know about them Reedsville Rams. Got to the state championship last year. Young team. Their 2 best players were freshmen. Of course, they returned. Plus, they got 2 big transfers over the summer. One from Williams and one from Cummings. So we all know about Reedsville, and I know Reedsville and Shelby got this thing going back and forth about champion, Titletown. Which one is better? But Reedsville's in that conversation, so they're up there. East Duplin, you can't forget about them. Defending champion. I believe they return a lot. Monroe, we talked about Monroe. I believe it was last week. For all the talent that they got coming back, Wallace Rose Hill always is in the mix. Salisbury, we talked about the weapons they got coming back with Jeter at quarterback and the DN. Northeastern is always their sneaky team in the East. In 2A, got to put Big Shelby in there. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're coming off kind of a disappointing season at 7-5, Shelby don't stay down too long. And I heard good things about the quarterback that's coming in. Burns, we know about quarterback Ben Marnie. You know what I'm saying? And everything they got coming back. Hereford County, I forgot the quarterback, the kid's name, but he jumped on the scene last year. Asked Tarboro about him. And of course, we got Forest Hills. So that's my top 10 for 2A right there.
All right, first comment from Wunkler. Where is Clinton?
Hey, can't beat Wallace Rose Hill or East Duplin.
Well, we know some people down in Clinton, and
Yep.
I think
They ain't too far behind.
might be in the
You know
locker.
that much. They ain't too far behind. I will show them that respect.
Absolutely. A very, very talented team on the eastern side of the state. Trayvon Gaither has a comment here. It says, Forest Hills plays Community School of Davidson on week 4. And then CSD also plays Charlotte Country Day. And Community School of Davidson's a 2A school. Looking to make some noise. Had a really good year last year.
Yeah. I'll probably just shuffle a couple of teams around, but I'll definitely be on the lookout for Forest Hills. Forest Hills, they're in a pretty decent conference. I think the only team that can kind of compete with them is Monroe. So that team, that game at the end of the year is always for first and second. Forest Hill has a lot of athletes, man. I was able to see them last year. They had a couple key thing about 2A, man. You get a couple injuries in the wrong spots. You're not as deep as a lot of 3A and 4A teams. I think that may have hurt them last year. You have Reedsville's returning pretty much all their guys. A lot of their athletes a lot of their best players are going to be like sophomores and juniors.
Right.
I think Reedsville. I'm not really sure how high I am on East Duplin. I think last year they kind of caught Reedsville by surprise. Reedsville probably walked in the game thinking they was just going to win by 40, not thinking the other team had the same goal they had. I don't know if they can. I think they probably can repeat having a lot of wins, possibly because I don't think that side of the state is as strong as this side of the state when it comes to 2A ball. Monroe's always got to be somebody you got to watch out for, man. Monroe is always filled with athletes. I think they used to be a 3A school, so there's so many kids that they get to pull from. They come to Monroe. I know they 2A now, but Monroe's always a team you have to keep your eye out for because you never really know. They'll play a pretty good non-conference schedule all the time, so they're always to be ready for playoffs. Wallace Rose Hill, man, you never know what you're gonna get because you ain't gonna really see them until playoffs. You're not gonna hear nothing about them. They're gonna fly on the radar, and then when you see them, you're gonna be like, "Wow!" I know when we got to play against them in the state championship game, and we walked out there and we seen those guys look. They're the same size we were on this part of the state. So I think those teams. I think Wallace Rose Hills is a tricky team because they will run. They will have 2 or 3 1,000-yard backs. I don't know how that's possible. But they'll do it. And like you said, Salisbury, man, filled with athletes. You just never know with 2A, man. I think, Shelby has been hearing a lot of the talk. They looking to regain their title, regain their throne. So I think 2A can go many, many different ways, man. But like I said, it's tougher. Like these games, even 2A, now the travel the games are even farther for playoffs. So travel really plays a big factor when it becomes into 2A when you start traveling and playing these teams and having to get on that bus.
We traveled to Burns last year, producer. That's and I was on the east side of Charlotte when I left, and I felt like I was driving forever. Yeah. that was just to go to Burns.
Burns is out there, middle of nowhere, man. Lawndale, man. I know they lost a lot. A lot of their guys were seen. They still returning. It's always good to return the quarterback and the running back and the key athlete. So, I think they'll do fine. They'll do fine during the regular season. It'd just be interesting to see how they fall once it comes for playoffs.
Coach, what were we going to say?
No, I want to add Community School of Davis and Pine Lake Prep. Don't sleep on them out of the 2A because I'm going to tell you something. Community School of Davidson, the way they score quick, they got a really good offensive scheme. They will upset somebody the first round. If you go in there and sleep on them, they might upset you the first, the second, or even the third round. So if you get one of these top 10 teams that go in there and it's like, oh, well, that's a charter school, community school, they'll upset you because they'll put up 50 by halftime if you let them.
I've seen that in person. When they played Carver last year.
Yep, they put them points up and Fowler.
Oh yeah,
they score quick.
Oh yeah, game was over in the first middle of the first quarter.
Yeah,
Good gracious.
I
Yeah,
thought,
it was a wrap.
yeah. Shout out to Coach TJ Elbert, and also going back to Coach Trotter. Coach Trotter get him one, and he'd be like, "Dang, we playing Pine Lake. We go down there, or they come up and you sleep on them. Y'all know how that is, Big Shelby. Boys taking it like, we got this. You know, max prep watching. That's what I call max prep watching. Look, anybody can get on any given Friday, and you sleep on any two of those teams, it's going to be an upset. Mark my words. Also, I want to look at like Reedsville, kind of look through the list. Fowler, I think this is a great list. When you start looking at the Reedsvilles, Shelby, Burns, I'm going to be honest with you. Cleveland County got some of the best football in any county. I mean, that's hands down. I'm not just saying that. It's hands down.
I've said this. I mean, cut y'all, Coach. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish.
Nah, it's just Cleveland County. You got to take your hat off. I mean, anybody trying to go back and forth, Cleveland County has some of the best football in this entire state. So you sleep on any one of those teams, they're at 7 and 8. You sleep on them, you'll be going home early.
I tell people up here in the 336 all the time. Matter of fact, I don't know if y'all seen the records I posted last weekend of Shelby and Chris record versus 336 teams. It's not even close. So there shouldn't really be no argument about that. So Cleveland County, when it comes to county, this might be a discussion down the road. When it comes to counties, they're right behind Mecklenburg and Guilford County.
And if you really look at it, Fowler, if you look at it pound for pound, I mean, what is it? 4 schools in Cleveland County?
Yeah. Might be the best county in the state.
Yeah, pound for pound. You know how they do boxing. You know, pound for pound, it might be the best county in the state. Hey, shout out to Coach Chris Hawk, the mayor of Cleveland County. Like you know.
What you got? 20 plus state championships between 3 schools, Shelby, Burns, and Chris.
Well,
you can't beat that.
Well, disclaimer: just Shelby and Chris. Burns got 1, Kings Mountain got 9, but nobody's really counting those.
Shots fired. Man down.
No, let's go to 1A.
I might set Webb up for that one, man.
You had an old
man.
for a second.
Oh gosh. All right. Friday night, go ahead.
Well, hey, I sent you that text the other day. With 1A is only about a certain number of schools that's competing every year. Them top 2 right there is them 2 and everybody else.
Nah, cuz put this on the front door. Put it on the front door.
Oh, I got him. I already know.
Put him on the front door.
I'm sorry, hey, Coach Washington. It is what it is, baby.
Hey, This that locker room material.
But I will say, as far as this 1A list go, it's very strange to me how how a lot of teams, when they start winning a lot of championships, they force them to move up. Tarboro is probably the only school that I've never seen move up. I don't really know why. Not knocking them because they're good at what they do. But, a lot of teams, they always make them move up at least for a year or two if they just been beating everybody. Unless their numbers are just that low.
According to my boy Bacon, the numbers are low, man. So that's the reason why I think that's the reason why they stay at 1A every year.
Yeah, they definitely every kid in that school plays football.
Yeah.
That's all you ever hear about.
What else is there to hear about? I mean, what's else?
I don't think it's much else to do.
Yeah, that part of the state normally is basketball, but they every year football, man, they there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mount Airy, and the thing with Mount Airy, everybody comes back. Everybody. The kid that scored the 50 touchdown last year, got the VTech scholarship. He comes back. Everybody in that backfield, everybody comes back, man. So, Coach Washington, with much respect, I just see it as Mount Airy and Tarboro rematch.
You about to be in a video and you don't even know it.
Look,
yeah.
I'm
the engine knows what that feels like, though.
Yeah. Look, I respect it. I do respect it, but I'm be honest. We 1-0 against Mount Airy. Mount Airy never beat us.
Okay.
Talk heavy, cuz. Talk heavy.
I got you.
Talk heavy.
I remember that. Yeah, that was
Go
a
ahead,
good
Eric,
game.
Eric, come
What was
down
that?
to the island, baby.
That
Don't
was
drown when you come
overtime?
to the island.
Was
Don't
that
drown when
double
you come to the
overtime?
island.
What was that?
So
when did y'all play them, Coach? I forgot about that. When did y'all play them?
I think we played them in 19. Actually,
Okay.
went in triple overtime.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Triple overtime. They drowned on the island.
Yeah.
It was
And
up there. It was in down
look,
there.
we went there.
I know.
Oh, word.
Yeah, we went there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up, baby.
I mean, it's a good matchup. Like, you got to think about it. And that's why I always know, like at Mountain Island, if we get through the mountains and you know, all that mountain ball, and we start playing some of them teams, I know a lot of teams don't match up well with us. You know, so we got a lot of speed. I know we're at 10, but I know if we get to the playoffs, no matter what our conference look like, because I mean, our conference gets slept on in a 1A, 2A conference. I mean, we got a heck of a conference. You got to really come out here and coach out of this conference because it's everywhere. We play different styles. We might go to Winston-Salem. We might come down to Gaston County or whatever the case may be. So I know we're battle tested once we come out of our conference. I mean, you seen that last year when we beat Bessemer City. And I mean, we had no business winning that game, to be honest with you, because we had so many injuries and stuff like that. But when we was, and they came out of a tougher conference, so they was actually perceived to be more battle tested than we were.
Right.
And we actually end up winning. So I like the rankings. No disrespect to anybody, but I think, you know, Mount Airy definitely deserved 1 and 2. And I mean, we got to prove it. If we want to be at the top of that list, we got to work for it. So definitely appreciate being top 10, but right now we haven't done nothing to earn it. We're gonna try to make that statement on August the 18th, though.
Well, you remember I told you what happened a couple years ago with the little skirmish with Carver. If y'all had got in, based on what I seen that night, y'all would have went deep in the playoff. That's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely. And
don't get me started on that.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Pep did a whole show.
Oh, really?
Pep did a whole show.
Okay.
Hey, Pep went in. But I agree with you. I'm gonna go down the list. Murphy is they're making that transition from being coached by that longtime coach. What's coach name down there? They coached at Murphy for a long time. But literally he was coaching longer than I was alive. I think he started coaching there in 80 or 81. Phenomenal coach. He built that program, and we ended up playing them like 2017. We went down there. Coach Gentry, that's his name.
David Gentry. Yeah.
David Gentry. So I knew it was bad when we walked in to the stadium, right? And I go in the stadium and something got David Gentry Stadium. I said, I'm playing in the stadium that the dude I'm coaching against.
Wow.
Man, I ain't gonna get a call. And sure enough, we didn't get a call. So they got rich tradition in Murphy. You always got to count them in. Honestly, 1A is ran through the mountains. I mean, I'm admit it is what it is. If you get through the mountains, you're gonna have a good chance of success. Robbinsville, they're gonna come play. They're like Murphy. I mean, they're in that same conference where they battle against each other. They come out there battle tested. Number 5, Starmount. You got Coach Lloyd down there. We actually played 7-on-7 with him a couple months ago, and he's building a good program there. Obviously, I know he's from Kings Mountain, so he knows what a program looks like down there at Starmount. Andrews. The thing about Andrews had a magical year. Because if you know, in 1A, Andrews traditionally, they're not the top of that conference. But for whatever reason, I know the reason. They're actually about to close Andrews, I think next year or something like that. So a lot of the seniors was playing for that. They had the talent. They had a kid that was phenomenal. So I don't know about Andrews being that high. And we talked about North Rowan. Shoot, they got athletes. North Rowan speaks for itself. Christ the King now. Christ the King is a sleeper, y'all. And I want to talk a little bit about this because literally, if y'all noticed, Christ the King wasn't winning a lot of games. So we're playing them, and obviously it's a different year. We go out to the field in pregame warmups, and I'm looking at like 6 or 7 new linemen, like big boys. I said, oh boy, we're gonna be in trouble. Because I started understanding, like, a lot of people like to compare the churches schools to the charter schools, right? We're not the same. like a kid can't just come to Mountain Island and get into Mountain Island because we got a lottery, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're going to some of those church schools, you can get in. You don't have to worry about a lottery. You get what I'm saying? So it's a different process than it is for a charter school. So I knew it was a matter of time before some of that talent at, Charlotte Catholic, some of them second, third stringers at Charlotte Catholic start coming over, going to Christ the King. And that's what we saw. So that's why Christ the King can actually be higher, because you don't know who they're going to have. You might have a kid that, because, traditionally, Charlotte Catholic was the only real Catholic school in this area until they built Christ the King.
Right.
So, I learned something new tonight.
Yeah. So Christ the King was built because it was feeding St. Mark's over here on the north side of Charlotte. So for the last couple of years, you still had kids that stayed in Huntersville still going to Charlotte Catholic. Right.
Oh, okay.
So now some of that talent is staying on this side. So, hey, look out for Christ the King. I mean, they're going to compete. We're going to keep our head on the swivel. I'm not sleeping on them. They're in our conference, and I think they can go far in the playoffs. And now, with Mitchell's the same way as Robbinsville and Murphy. So they're going to be phenomenal. But thank you, guys. It's kind of like, 1A. I'm a 1A coach, so thought I'd go in a little bit. Appreciate the time.
No, appreciate the insight, man.
That's what's up, Coach. I just learned a couple things right there, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you putting this list together.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic. If you're tuning in for the South Carolina rankings and everything else, I'm sorry, but we had to get all this out. There was a lot. There was a lot to discuss there. Thank you, Friday Night, for all of that. Now, upstate South Carolina rankings. A little bit of love for York and Lancaster counties. Talked about Northwestern briefly. They got my favorite player, Turbo Richard, running back, big time.
He's still in school? I feel like I've been hearing that name forever, man.
Well, that's because he's been to every CFI camp. That's why. Started out as a receiver, and then they switched him to running back 2 years ago. And the rest is history.
Yeah, Turbo's a baller.
College.
Yeah, he's a baller, man.
Yeah, man. CFI legend. And then we just talked to Bobby Collins at South Pointe. You heard about him and his program. Indian Land, I think it's going to be really good this year with Coach Hastings, formerly at from Providence Day, and Ardrey Kill. Catawba Ridge is always really strong with Coach Lignac and those guys doing a great job. I think York is going to be really good. I got a good buddy in Jason Lehman down there coaching that program. They got some good guys. Debo Hall at DB came to our camp, HBCU camp back in April, did a great job. Clover, I think is going to be in the mix. Nation Ford, they're at 7. Lancaster plays a lot of teams tough, man. Just looking at their schedule last year, they were right there in a couple of games against South Pointe, and they played another team. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they've got athletes too. And then number 9 and number 10 are really interesting. Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson is a really strong 2A school in the upstate. They made the 4th round of the playoffs, and they got a kid that rushed for over 2,500 yards last year. Really impressive looking at his highlight film, man. Buford is another good 2A team. They were 8-3 last year, coming in at 10, and then Rock Hill and Fort Mill at 11 and 12. Joe Hughes, South Carolina expert as well. I swear folks are moving to Indian Land by the boatload. Coach Clover has a new coach in Perry Woolbright. They have a host of talent. So, any thoughts on the South Carolina upstate rankings?
I like it. I think South Pointe can claim the top spot again this year, though.
God, that's a lot of good football, man. That's a lot of good football right there. That region is going to be crazy. Like I think the top 5 are in the same region. That is incredible. It really is, man.
Is that the part of South Carolina right below Charlotte?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Pep,
I need to educate myself more on South Carolina football. I know about Gaffney, so
We all
Don't
know
say
about
nothing,
Gaffney.
Will. Don't say nothing, Will.
Hey, Pep, I want to
We're
highlight.
gonna be at Gaffney next Saturday, man.
Oh, okay.
You scrimmaging?
Yeah, we got South Carolina Jamboree. I think it's next Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's
yeah.
what's up.
All right. I wanted to highlight some plays, if you didn't mind, Pep.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I got this from Jay Currents. That's Fat Jay at South Pointe, dad. But he's been coaching for years, and we were just talking about him. I said, dude, let me know the ball players, because it's when certain people talk, you listen. So Jay Currents is definitely an OG in that area. And he told me about a kid named Mason Hicks at South Pointe, a 2025 wide receiver, running back, athlete. Christian Henderson out of Greenville High School, 2025 DB. Malik Clark out of Rock Hill. He's a 2025 wide receiver. Miles Wilson at South Pointe, 2026 D lineman. Anthony Baxter at South Pointe, 2026 O lineman. I don't even know how to say this kid's name. Someday Eddie at Riverside, 2026 DB. I apologize if I messed your name up, but a kid out of Riverside that plays DB, look out for him. Zay Presley out of South Pointe, 2026 receiver. Trooper Floyd out of Chester, 2025 quarterback.
Yeah, real good player. Absolutely.
N. Grissom out of Louisville, 2025 quarterback. Will Massey, Will Massey Jr., Northwestern 2025 linebacker. Jamar Perry, Northwestern 2024 DB. Jaden McDowell out of Gaffney, 2026 running back. Aiden Turner out of South Pointe, 2025 running back.
Yeah.
And Brady Ambrose out of Catawba Ridge, 2024 tight end.
Yeah,
So
the Aiden Turner kid was at one of our camps. Definitely a player. Joe Hughes once again said, "Y'all talk about a ride to Burns and ride to Buford, spun me around twice back in the day before GPS."
Oh man,
I don't think I've ever been to Buford. Y'all been to Buford?
Nope.
No.
It sounds like they got some good chicken wings in Buford. I'm getting hungry, man. It's getting about 9 o'clock. I'm getting hungry.
oh man.
Pepman was supposed to sponsor the show tonight, man. But
Yeah, what happened to the wings?
What are y'all talking about?
Nah, I knew it. That's right.
Yeah,
What are y'all talking about?
wings.
I know what wings are. What you talking about sponsor? I wasn't going to sponsor no shows.
That's what I heard. I heard the same thing. He's supposed to get us all wings.
I wanted wing suggestions so we could talk about it because Saturday was National Chicken Wing Day.
Oh, I thought you was DoorDashing everybody wings.
That's what I heard.
See? If you didn't know, CFI work for free, man. So if any sponsors out there, any fans out there that want to help donate and buy the co-host of chicken wings or some Bojangles, buy some Bojangles, anything for the workers, would be greatly appreciated, man.
So, some of y'all work for free. If you come work the camp, you won't work for free.
Hey, I come work camps whenever I'm able to work camps. And, it's kind of tough to have, football camps on the same weekend anywhere. But it's all love here. When I come work, I get compensated very well. And I go get me some Bojangles, both sides.
Oh man. All right, that's upstate South Carolina Ravens.
I didn't have any Bojangles today.
I didn't.
Well, I mean, leftover Bojangles from yesterday, but not hot and fresh Bojangles today.
Mm.
Yeah,
that's
I need
why
some
you're
Bojangles
subdued tonight. I see.
Hey, shout out to Jabril Fuel too, out of South Pointe. I think Jabril doing a good job of the community. I know he's not coaching at a school this year, but I think he's sponsoring that. What is that, Turf King?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So shout out to him.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that.
If anybody works at Bojangles and they just feel like donating a bunch of $100 gift cards to me and Kenneth, just let us know.
Oh, we'll take Buffalo Wild Wings too. That's fine. That's fine.
It's not like we're gonna turn down any wings. So yeah, that too.
No, we are. We turning down that wing place that made Webb pay for that dang on sauce, man.
Oh yeah, well, you're right.
Yeah, we turning
I ain't been back.
Rightfully so. I forgot about that. Yeah, we
Don't
don't.
even, soon as I passed there in Chevy, I just
Well, you got a good spot up there, and I used to travel there because y'all know how I like my wings. I used to go all the way to Shelby to Wing, etc. Get them wings.
that's what we was talking about. Terrible establishment.
Oh man, really?
All right, let's hold off on that because that's gonna be another discussion. But this is the Dirty Dozen. So the Dirty Dozen is a regional ranking of teams that are basically close to Mecklenburg County, and we include the upstate this year in this. It's sponsored by the Queen City Senior Bowl. I talked about that a little bit earlier when Coach Collins was on, but this is mine. I know my name's not on it, but this is my Dirty Dozen right here. It's the regional ranking of teams in the area. Leading it off with Providence Day, followed by Huff, Northwestern, we just talked about, Butler, Weddington, South Pointe, South Carolina, Charlotte Christian, Independence, Kings Mountain, Crest, Hickory Ridge, and then South Pointe, Belmont, South Pointe, North Carolina. Any thoughts on the Dirty Dozen?
I'm gonna say something that might be probably controversy, but I wouldn't have Providence Day at number one. I wouldn't. I mean, the talent's there. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see them play Huff. I want to see them play the Butlers. I want to see them play some of these tougher teams, and just go after it. I mean, until that, how do you put Huff or put them over Huff? I understand on paper. Don't get me wrong, but how do you put them over Huff? That's me.
And you see
where would you put them?
It wouldn't be number one, maybe number two.
Number two, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who would you have at one, Coach?
Honestly, I'll put Huff there.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of see what's from there.
Because y'all seen my rankings, I would have Butler over Huff, but that's just me though.
Well, I would have Butler up there. You know what? I probably would have Butler up there because the thing is, and we're talking about in the city, is it a thing? And I apologize to Providence Day if it's a thing because I know how it is being at a charter school. Is it a thing at CMS that they're not playing private schools?
Man,
right. CMS doesn't play private schools in the regular season.
Okay, well I'll take that back. Keep Providence Day at number one. I was just saying if you could make those matchups work, and I know how that is at a charter.
I wish. A lot of people wish.
It has happened before though, right? Years ago. I could have sworn it's happened before.
Mallard Creek played Charlotte Christian, I believe.
Charlotte Catholic played Charlotte Christian a couple years ago, didn't it?
Well, Catholic's in the NCHSAA. So
even though they play public school schedule.
They can play them, yeah.
Oh.
I'll probably move up South Pointe, move up Crest, move ourselves up, but I'm not gonna speak on about us, but I'll move a couple other teams up. I think South Pointe is very deserving to be in that top four, top three category. I mean, it's your rankings, your thoughts, but I think you shuffle a couple teams around. But only time will tell, man. Week one is big for a lot of teams. So, the Dirty Dozen probably be different this time.
It will be. It'll be different in some form or fashion because some of these teams are playing each other. Like Providence Day and Northwestern are playing. So, it's going to be different, just off of that, basically. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach Van Horn. Yeah, it's changed, with some leadership changes in CMS. It is changing. That is a good.
That's interesting. Miles Park playing Christian this year.
Yeah, that's in the
Miles Park got a hell of a schedule this year, man. They playing Richmond County too.
But is Richmond back? That's another question.
They'll be better than they were last year.
Okay, that's fair. Chat administrator thinks that I'm good. Rare. That's rare. It's early, but I feel good. I feel good about that. All right. Any other thoughts before we move on? All right. Now it's that time for the most controversial rankings on Instagram. that is the CMS best to last. All right, so from the top down, Huff, Butler, Independence, Chambers, Mallard Creek, Mush, Charlotte, Argykill, Olympic, North Meck, West Meck, Providence, Palisades, Myers Park, South Meck, Hopewell, Rocky River, East Meck, Harding, Berry, and Garinger. CMS best to last. There'll be a lot of comments on Instagram. I thought about reading Instagram comments, but then, I don't want to get in trouble. People are very mean on Instagram. I'm a little sensitive. A little.
I don't. Like I said, y'all seen my ranking, so the top three would be Butler, Independence, and Huff, but that's just me.
Any thoughts on the CMS best to last?
I'm processing. So far, nothing's standing out. No glaring changes yet.
Hey, and I keep seeing Palisades ranked high. And shout out to Coach over there, Coach Simmons. That's my guy over there. Phenomenal coach. Congratulations. He's building that program the right way. But I think I seen something that might be too early for them. Palisades.
Coach Simmons said that I shouldn't rank them high.
I saw that.
They haven't earned
it. Yeah. So I might put them maybe 14. I don't know about ranking them above Myers Park and South Meck. Because you still got Joe Evans over there. If anybody know Joe Evans, I call him Incredible Hawk. That's my guy. I mean, he's gonna coach his butt off. So I don't know. Maybe we giving it to him too early, but
well, here's my thing, and I said this when I talked about him last week. There's no school that's bringing back more kids than they are. And then they were competitive in games last year in their first year. And you look at the conference they're in, you look at the fact that they've spent all the time in the weight room, everybody's coming back, and then they've added onto the talent that they have. I mentioned Kendrick Davis came over, an all-conference linebacker from Harding to Palisades. That's going to be a big help on that defense. They've got legit Division I talent on that team with a couple of those kids getting offers. So, I've been wrong before. I'm a big man. I can take being wrong, but, I'm projecting a little bit, but I think they're gonna make a jump. I think they're gonna make a jump this year.
I'm with you. Hopefully you're right, because it could happen to a better person, Coach Simmons. So we know they're gonna go out there and compete. So,
Producer, what were you gonna say?
No, I was saying I don't see anything glaring, obvious changes I would make. I do see the point about Palisades. You could make that case to potentially swap them in Myers Park, maybe but you say, I can also see the other side of it. You can say they're literally returning everyone. So like you said, they were competitive in their first year. So I don't see anything obvious I change definitively, not yet. But when the games start being played, we know that'll change.
Their week 1 game against West Charlotte will say a lot. They'll say a lot about them. Any other thoughts?
Look good to me, baby.
Scott Marquess, long fan of CFI. AK is laying, I think he meant in the weeds, not on the weeds. There we go. Okay. I knew what you meant, Scott. I knew what you meant. Thanks for watching, man. I think he's still out in Tennessee, man. Still watching CFI. That's amazing dedication, man. Earl David Price says, "Don't sleep on West Meck."
We are.
I know Coach Washington, has a lot of respect, and me as well, for what they got over there. And shout out to linebacker B.D. Waddell committing to Western Carolina, longtime CFI camp participant, awesome stuff, man. Couldn't have happened to a better young man, and I'm happy for his dad as well.
Had a big Western booster hit me up yesterday, wanting to know all the facts about B.D. Waddell. He was excited to get a Charlotte kid in there up in Culleweed.
Hey, man, just tell him, that's another CFI legend. That's another one. And also wide receiver Jeremy Black committing to UNC Pembroke, man. Really happy for that young man. Speed personified. Chat administrator says he thinks Providence might be ahead of North Mech and West Mech. And he thinks Huff is going 0-11. That's that rivalry talking.
I think that North Mech might be the surprise team. I mean, they still have to worry about their conference. North Mech,
yeah,
the very talented football team.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I don't know if we went over this. Might have, but where is Charlotte Catholic?
So they're not in CMS.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I had Catholic ranked 3rd in the Southwestern behind Butler and Independence.
Right. Okay. Never mind. I got it.
Well, no, but Catholic, man, they've got they were at the media day, and they've got a lot of starters back on defense. I think Coach Riley, their new head coach, is going to open things up on offense a bit, and they're going to look different on the offensive side of football. And I think it's exciting. They got some guys that can do some things in the passing game, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see that. And I think their kids are excited about it too.
That's what's up.
All right. Any other thoughts? All right. Good stuff, man. So next week's show, we'll talk about the best scrimmages to watch, which, of course, number 1 is the CFI Classic. I put June. Good gracious. It's August, obviously. August 11th at 5 o'clock at Rocky River. We'll talk about that. Talk about the best games to watch this upcoming season. We'll have some topic discussions and talked about a couple topics we're going to discuss next week already. Open enrollment. We're going to talk about, the emotion the team goes through with the loss of a teammate. And then a couple other topics. There'll be a new segment called Instant Replay. I'll be asking you guys some of your best memories from high school football in your perspective, and we'll have a little bit of talk around that. And then we'll have some live interviews on the show, whether it be players and coaches. Just stick around. We'll have a couple of interviews on next week's show, which will be done Wednesday night. And I know that's the first night of scrimmages, and I know some people will be out at scrimmages, but the show will go on. Just turn us on at the scrimmage. Make sure you got a good internet plan, and we'll be bringing you a lot of good stuff, man. So let's go to best of the comments. And we got a lot of good comments tonight.
Bass comment on web was the best one. You didn't post it yet. I was
saving it. I'm gonna get to it. Markel Riley thinks Independence is back. Thank you, Markel.
Thank you. We just back to work tomorrow. That's all.
There you go, cuz. There you go.
Diplomatic web is an interesting web, I'll tell you. Joe Hughes says Richmond is back has become similar to the Dallas Cowboys of winning the Super Bowl.
Here we go.
Wow.
Joe Hughes is on something tonight.
Boy, I'm telling you, good gracious. All right. Emmanuel McCrae, crazy to see how much Christ the King has changed since I coached in Gaston County in 2018. It has been a 180 for that program. Absolutely. Stephanie Reynolds says, shout out Coach Washington. New year, new culture, hard work.
Yes, indeed. Let's go.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate you watching. Reggie Daniel, we coming. Thank you, Reggie. Appreciate you watching as always, young man. Let's see. This is a good question. Wunkler says, where is Clinton?
They're one and the same thing.
We answered it already, remember? We answered it already.
Hey. You talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I looked up Buford. I see they're in northern, is that Lancaster County? There's a lot of green space around it. So we can see where Clinton High School is. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the one in Georgia. Uh-oh. Or South Carolina.
Mercy.
Anyway. We'll find that out. We'll let you know where that is. Let's see. Said Nell Wells says South Pointe is Gamecocks country. Okay. All right. Karen Belk says dedicated coach at South Pointe. Bring Tommy Knotts on sometime. I don't know if we can get Tommy Knotts on here.
You see why she put it at the end? If he do it. If he do it. Emphasis on the if.
Yeah, we can get Coach Geiler on. They interviewed Coach Geiler before, and that was great. He's entertaining. Let's see. Somebody named Adam Weber said Coach Q's out on the lake, not on football. Good gracious. Commenting while he's on the show, man. That's just sad. And Coach Q was watching. He was watching earlier. Let's see if he responds to that. D'Angelo Dean, South Pointe, and Indian Land are top teams in South Carolina. Yeah, we had them near the top of the rankings. That's for sure. Let's see. Jason Bass says Chambers is fine at 9 in your rankings Friday night.
Appreciate you, Bass.
He had a son that was involved in that program for a while.
Okay.
Let's see here.
He's pretty good.
Joe Hughes with a great comment. Webb doesn't handle scheduling, but he does handle snacks.
Right.
For somebody that's never on the show, he does a lot of comment throughout the show. I wonder if Joe's still wearing that same hat he wear on Friday night and them boot cuts.
That damn bargain.
Yeah, I get the Chevy Star. I ain't paying them enough no more.
All right. Well, we'll end on that. That was a great comment to end on. But now it is that time to slime with your favorite host, not me.
Pep, you know what time it is? It's time for us to get stuff off of our chest. Somebody that got up underneath our nerves this week, something that just made our blood boil, something that just, it's like the screeching sound of the fingernails on the old blackboards in grade school. Let's go ahead and start over there on Patriot Drive. Big Web, who are you sliming on tonight?
Oh, man, to be honest, man, I've been so locked in on football, man. I don't really have no slime. Really haven't had no time for any negativity. But I'd love to get a shout out to my cousin, man, Keenan. Keenan Rashford got his own business out there now in the 336 area, Greensboro. He traveled from Greensboro, Winston to Charlotte, 93 Smoke, baby. You get whatever you want to get, smoked turkey wings, smoked wings, get you some brisket, get you some whatever you want, man. Hit my cousin up if you're in the area, man. Support him. Young black man out here making away, cooking, doing things the right way, man. And, just tell him Big Web sent you.
Whoa, you didn't understand the assignment, Big Web. You're supposed to slime somebody. You're supposed to slime something. You're supposed to talk about the drive-through window that did you wrong. You're supposed to talk about the lady that cut you off at the drive-through window. You're supposed
I haven't really been to a lot of drive-through windows, man. I go to practice, I come home, watch film, go to sleep, man. That's all I've been doing.
Eat?
I eat, man. I eat. I pick it up. My service been great this week. I can't slime some guys. It's too early, but you want me to go ahead and slime them? I'm going to slime these Panther fans going out there to the fan fest again. I hear all these expectations just for them to let you down. It's just for them to let you down again, baby. It's that time of the
No, hold on. Cut that fool off. Pep, we don't want that dude on the show anymore anyhow, man. He's supposed to be watching film or something, man. Get that mess out of here. Let's go to the producer. Besides Big Web, who else you sliming tonight?
So, we do a lot of food-related slimes on here. So I'm at the slime one of the staples in our area, Cookout again. I might have done this slime again, but it's just like sometimes things need to be re-slimed maybe, but Cookout just they got to stop with those fries, man. At some point, they just switched them out, and it tastes like seasoned rice cake strips or something, man. They switched out the fries for something cheaper, and it's just not acceptable, man. So whatever Cookout was serving before, please bring those back, man, because those fries you throwing out there now, no. And especially you went up on the prices, so you went up on the prices and down on the quality, man. So that's a slime right there.
Can we talk about how cookouts, hamburgers, how their chicken sandwiches, the piece of chicken or the piece of meat they put on there now is about half the size of the slice of tomato that's on there? Can we talk about that? The one thing that Cookout has always had going, I don't even mess with the fries, because what Cookout has is you can get a corn dog as a side. A corn dog, that's a main entree at most restaurants. You get the corn dog as the side, producer.
You're right, man. That was amazing. Even going back to like college days, that was like one of our go-tos in Greensboro was Cookout. Like you say, you get a lot of food for $4 or $5. But now, like you say, they done skimped on the portions. They're giving us less and charging us more. It's life right now, unfortunately, I guess.
Still get the large sweet tea though with your meal.
Oh yeah, at least we got that. At least we got the drinks.
Come on, Cookout, man. They got to pick their game up. I'm with you. Coach Washington, man, I got to slide myself first because I forgot to tag you last night, man. That's my bad, Coach. But besides me, who you slamming on tonight?
I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stick to this food thing. I got to slime this pizza place on the west side of town. I don't want to say the name. But I order a pizza and get there. The pizza's not ready. Dude jump over the counter, start making pizza in regular street clothes. And what made it worse, Pep, you got the picture? Did you see these sandals? This dude is back there slicing my pizza in leather Cookout sandals. Somebody uncle on the grill sandals. Then he didn't put no lotion on the back of his heels.
None.
Listen, nothing, just straight ash. And I was fine with not having a Pizza Hut, but then I looked down at the shoes and I seen these sandals, open toe sandals. But the disclaimer is the pizza was good because I would have complained. But he did his thing. But next time, brother, put some lotion on.
I mean, when you see the unk grilling outside looking like that, you know the food's about to be good. Real talk. Friday Night Fowler. Who are you slamming on tonight?
Hey, man, we're going to stick with this food thing as well. Might as well close it out with this food. Look, man, it's about 3 Chick-fil-A's I frequent up here in the Winston-Salem area. I've been getting the same salad I've been getting for the past 7 months. My market salad with no blue cheese, 3 packs of ranch dressing, and a grilled chicken sandwich. Look, here lately, I've been having to keep telling these people, look here, man, you see I'm a big guy. Granted, I'm losing a little weight and some inches, but I like my food. What is it going to look like a big guy like me with 3 strags of chicken on all this salad, man? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, y'all got to get my order right. I know it's one restaurant I go to, man. I went to about 4 or 5 straight times. I have to keep asking the manager, hey, man, put some chicken on my food, man. Because I'm not gonna be satisfied with this 3 strips of chicken. Y'all got to get together, Chick-fil-A, and there's 3 of them at that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm slamming on tonight, baby.
Hey, Chick-fil-A letting you down, man. Come on, Chick-fil-A, let's pick that game up. Yeah, you slamming on tonight.
Oh, I couldn't wait for this.
Oh.
So, I know producer you slime spam calls before, but when I get a spam call and I have a few minutes throughout my day, I like to try to teach these guys a lesson. So I am sliming Michael Taylor. You may say, who is Michael Taylor? Well, he is the guy that called me this morning and said I won $500,000 in the Mega Millions jackpot. And I said, oh, wow, thank you. I was not aware. I didn't put a ticket in. He said you didn't have to. You were already entered if you've ever played before. And you won a $500,000. I said, okay, great. What do I need to do to get this $500,000, Michael? He said, what stores are near your house? Do you have a Walmart? Do you have a CVS? I said, I got a Walmart around the corner. And he said, okay, all you got to do, this is all I got to do to get my $500,000. I got to go to Walmart. I got to get a Green Dot card. That's $100. And then call him when I get the $100, and the delivery team will come to my house with my $500,000 check. And then the lawyer will meet me at my bank to verify that the funds are real. And then after I do that, I am going to have a $500,000 in my bank account. And I said, oh boy, I'm going to go to Walmart right now. He said, great. When you get there, you get the card, you call me back. I said, you got it. You got it, Michael. So I hung up the phone. I was laughing my tail off. An hour later, I swear to you not, this Michael Taylor calls me back. He said, did you get the card yet? And I said, no, I'm trying to get down there. I got a lot going on, but I'm going to get there. He said, okay, I'm going to have the delivery team head to your house. And I said, Michael, where do I live? And he said, well, I already got your information, man. You gotta just go do it. Just go do it. I said, okay, I got it. I kid you not. 30 minutes later, I got a call from the delivery team. They said, hey, we're at your house with your $500,000 check. Did you get the Green Dot card? And I said, no, I'm still trying to get there. I got 3 more calls today from the delivery team and Michael Taylor. Get a life, guys. People are trying to work out here and do some real things in the world, and you did all this work to try to get $100 out of somebody? Slime your tails, man. Get out of here.
You know, the crazy thing, Pep, is they do it because it works. I don't know if y'all have seen, there's a guy on YouTube. He's like Scammer Payback or something like that. I don't know how he does it. He's like a computer whiz, but he figures out who these scammers are, where they're located, even down to what room they're in, like in the building. And he'll call them up and call them out by name and calls them out, but he puts out videos on YouTube. It's pretty crazy. You know, I was going to stick with the food because I had a little bit of a crazy incident, you know, at my Bojangles yesterday, but I'm going to go with something that is really starting to bother me. Probably like some of you guys, I'm an avid shopper of Amazon. I don't know when the last time I went to the mall was. I don't know when the last time I went to a physical brick and mortar store is. Like the other day, I was like, man, I need a thermometer. My kid's sick. And I could go to Walgreens and get one, or I could just buy one off of Amazon and it'll be here in 3 to 4 hours. And so that's what I did. But, you know, on Amazon, there's a place where you can tell it, you know, of course, your address, all that kind of stuff, but you give very specific delivery instructions, as in where you want the Amazon person to leave the package. So not wanting to leave it on the front porch where everybody can see it, you know, everybody who walks past my house, and we all know what that could entail. My delivery instructions are very specific about another door that's a little bit more hidden that I want my packages left. And so every time somebody leaves a package on my front door and I get that little notification from Amazon, how was the delivery, I always give them a thumbs down. And then Amazon writes, well, why? What was negative about this experience? So I always write back, the driver did not follow the delivery instructions. They didn't put it in the hidden place that's just as easily accessible. That's not a farther walk. There's nothing out of the way for the Amazon man. In fact, they've got to turn around when they get to my house, so it's actually a closer walk for them. And so when I say that, Amazon comes back with, thank you for the input. Do you want to change your delivery instructions? No, Amazon, I don't want to change my delivery instructions. I want my packages to be kept safe. I want my packages not to get wet when it rains. I want my packages to be where I've asked them to be. I didn't put the delivery instructions on there. You did. Please follow them. That's all I got tonight, Pep. Man, good show tonight, man.
This was an excellent show. I'm very, very happy with how this show went tonight. Great job from everybody on the panel.
The good news is last week's show finished just in time for this week's show to start. There's about a layover where we were able to get something to eat.
Nikisha, you get a special slime because you wasn't here. That's not gonna fly. You need to be here.
Baller, man.
Period. I don't want to hear it. All right. Thank you. Oh, Karen Belk says she gets 10 fake calls from Rocket Lord. Gracious.
Karen Belk, man. I'm able to meet you this Saturday and meet the patrons over there at Veterans Park.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. A lot of special stuff going on this Saturday. I see a lot of teams got midnight practices, man. Did y'all ever do that?
No, I think it's so overrated.
We were told to stop doing midnight practices, but we did them for years.
I wouldn't want to do it.
We were told to stop by the county. So it was
God mercy.
we would practice. We'd have a night practice at like 7. We'd practice till about 8:30, and we'd bring in all the parents to feed the kids at 9. We would eat together as a family, as one big huge group, and we would hang out for an hour, and then right at 12 o'clock we'd walk out onto the field. And I got shut down a couple of years ago. It was unfortunate. Those were good times.
I'll tell you, we did a lock-in one time at Harding. Notice I say one time. That was the worst decision ever made. Kids didn't sleep. We practiced the next morning. It was the worst practice. My goodness. Yeah. So, anyways, on behalf of everybody, Pepman, Matt Morris signing off. We'll see you guys next week. Scrimmage time is coming. Football is here. Thank you guys for watching Football Focus Weekly, the best show on the East Coast.
Stay away from unaccredited rankings. Good night.